marches, two very different days in the nation's capital. Less than a week after 500,000 people marched for the protection of reproductive rights during the Trump administration, the other side of the country's most contentious debate comes to town. Anti-abortion supporters have rallied for 43 years to protest the passage of the landmark Roe v. Wade decision legalizing abortion. But as they rally this year, there's new hope for their cause. In one of his first acts in the Oval Office, President Trump signed an executive order preventing U.S. funding from going to any foreign organizations that promote abortion. This so-called Mexico City policy has always flipped according to who is in the White House. Since 1984, Republican presidents have implemented it, while Democratic presidents have overturned it. But Trump's order is even more restrictive than in the past, part of an effort his press secretary pledged would be a priority.
It's no secret that this administration and this president are going to do what they can to fight for life.
And just days after the Women's March on Washington, the Republican-controlled Congress battled over permanently restricting federal funding for abortion.
Millions of women and men across the country, and including myself, marched with one goal in mind: to let the world know that our rights must be respected and protected. A woman's right to abortion should be a personal choice that she makes, not a decision that government makes for her.
All life is a precious gift from God. I pray that in time this truth will be reflected in our nation's laws.
The bill passed, House Speaker Paul Ryan recognizing the moment with this tweet, a claim abortion rights advocates push back on.
So the Congress is way out of step with the American public and what the American public supports in terms of access to abortion and health care for women.
In a 2016 Pew survey, 57% of Americans said abortion should be legal. But those numbers change when the public considers different kinds of abortions and federal funding for them. Next up for House Republicans, a bill that would severely curtail Roe v. Wade, preventing any abortions after a doctor detects a heartbeat on an ultrasound. That would be welcomed by anti-abortion advocates such as Catholic University professor Chad Pecknold, who says the March for Life is just one step in changing the nation's conversation about abortion.
I think this is exactly the right kind of legislation to advance the pro-life cause with those who ordinarily disagree with us but are open-minded and want to consider all the facts.
But the most significant impact a Republican government could have on the abortion debate? Confirming anti-abortion justices at the Supreme Court who could eventually overturn Roe v. Wade. President Trump gets his first chance next week when he's expected to announce his choice for the court's vacancy. Katherine Gypson in Washington, VOA News.